Hey, this is Willie G from the Bob and Tom Show here at Radio Row with Costaki Economopoulos. We're very happy to be joined by David Carr. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Well, we're loving it. We love this whole scene. Thanks for coming on.
David, I got to tell you, I'm really excited about this QB matchup. As a former quarterback, what do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously, you guys are on different paths, and Joe, being a young guy, he doesn't know what he doesn't know, and he doesn't appear to have any flaws in his game. Honestly, I mean, he does everything that you want out of a franchise guy. His processing ability is fantastic. He gets the ball to the right guy. He doesn't try to make that extra play. I don't know that the guy has a weakness. Maybe just athletically, there's some guys in the league that are maybe more talented, and maybe arm strength a little bit. But my goodness, when you watch him play, he's looked like a veteran since the day he stepped on the field, and he's got his team, as unlikely as it may seem. How do you get sacked 9 times and win a game on the road against the number 1 seed? I mean, the guy's incredible. Question. So, yeah, and Matt, I have some pretty strong feelings about Matt because I was in a situation not the exact same, but similar to Matt's, where you're kind of in not NFL purgatory, but you're not in a great spot. He's in Detroit. He's battling. I was in Houston. I know how hard that was. We were a franchise that was very young and new, and I know how difficult that can be. And I can also, I also have a little bit of a feeling on, how it feels to go from that to, an organization or a team like the Rams. I went to the Giants, even though I was a backup. We won a Super Bowl there. And
right.
Just the contrast of that was just so incredible to me. And I know what he must be feeling. I don't know how he must feel to be the reason. I mean, that's what's so cool about what he's done is they literally brought him in to get to the Super Bowl and win it, and he's here.
I know.
Now all he has to do is go out and make the plays to put his team over the top, because that's why they brought him. So really cool stories on both sides.
Yeah, I agree. I went to the University of Georgia, so I've been following Stafford for a while, and I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's kind of living the dream that we all have in whatever our walks of life is. We have some version of, if I could just get out of this place, it could all happen for me. It's kind of cool to see it happen for him. So, it's
it really is. And then he's always been such a tremendous talent too, and to play the way he has in the postseason, he's always maybe battled trying to do too much at times. And I was talking to Nate Burleson about that, who played with him way back, and he's seen a guy that understands what's around him. He understands the playmakers he has. He's kind of settled into that role where he still has crazy ability, but he's playing a more controlled game, which I think that's probably one of the main reasons that they're here.
Wait, isn't Nate Burleson the one who broke his arm like in a single car accident sober with a pizza or something? Isn't that Nate?
All right, we don't want to bring up old stuff, but that definitely was Nate. So, but I'll make sure I remind him of that later on.
When I read that story, I was like, wait a minute. It was a single car accident and he was sober? Who does that?
We've all been there. We're trying to grab a fry or two out of the seat next to us, and you're like, you hit late brakes, and you're like, I get it. I can see what happened.
Hey, man, I got a more serious, back to a serious question. You're clearly the right person to ask this of. We've seen quarterbacks. Obviously the big glaring example is the Tom Brady. We see a great quarterback move to another team and he makes a so-so team a fantastic team. And we see these great quarterbacks that are injured for a while and the team's terrible for a while. I feel like the importance of the quarterback in my mind has grown even more than it used to be. If you're thinking of a pie chart of a successful NFL franchise, how big a slice is quarterback?
I saw a really cool tweet the other day, and it said, "If only Detroit had a quarterback like Matt Stafford."
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's great.
I mean, it's a huge piece. You have to have all the components, and I think that having the quarterback, obviously, with what you've seen in Cincinnati, I mean, 2 years ago they had 4 wins, and now they're in the Super Bowl. So that obviously is something that can transcend an organization.
Right.
But you also have to have some of those other components, and
of course,
it's such a team game. But I mean, if you don't have the quarterback, you don't have a chance. I'll say that. I mean, that's very clear. And if you don't have one, you're looking for one. I mean, and even if you have a great team, you look at San Francisco. right? And I'm not going to bash on Jimmy because people do enough of that, and he's won a lot of games there.
Oh yeah.
But he's not really a guy that transcends that team to take them to the next level. And it's like Kyle Shanahan's a brilliant coordinator. They have a lot of good pieces there. Defense is great. Offensively, they can do pretty much whatever they want,
Yeah.
But they come up short, So how long is it until Kyle Shanahan says, you know what? Here, take a couple of my first-round picks. Let me go see if I can grab. And I know he has Trey Lance, and maybe he turns into the guy. But, obviously, if you don't have the QB, you really don't have a chance. But that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. You got to have the stuff that's deep down. I remember sitting in the locker room right before the Super Bowl, about to play the Patriots. I'm with the Giants, and Tom Coughlin's up there, and he goes, "You know what? On paper, they're supposed to beat us. On paper, they probably would beat us, but we don't play the game on paper. It takes an entire team effort, and so you got to have that group. You got to have that coach. You got to have that core belief in yourself, and then on top of that, you got to have the guy that can sling it when it matters.
Yeah,
and both these teams have that, so that's why they're there.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking to David Carr, quarterback and analyst extraordinaire, NFL Total Access. You guys all know the face. Was it a mistake for a guy with hair as good as yours to play in a sport that requires a helmet?
I'm going to say yes. I walk around here now. It's like when I was playing, no one knew who I was, and now I'm on TV, and it's like, "Hey, Dave." I'm like, "Hey, random citizen. I don't know who you are, but they're like, great hair." I'm like, it literally happened to me like 5 minutes ago. I'm like, I never really thought of myself as a guy with great hair. I'm going to thank my dad, I guess. That doesn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I just blow dry it and go. So.
Could you give your brother a few tips on the hair front? Would it kill him to try a little bit? What's he doing?
You know what? He actually got a haircut recently. I'm not sure if he's made that public knowledge yet, but he got like this European soccer haircut that actually looks pretty good on him. But because he calls me and he goes, "Hey man, I know you've had all these fancy European soccer haircuts. So which one's the best?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know if you can pull it off like I can, but let's give it a shot." So it was good though. I think it was better than what he had going on. He looked like he was in Home Alone with the last.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, that's the other meme that's going around.
You saw that meme, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you saw it too. So he was like, "I can't handle these Home Alone memes anymore, dude. I got to get a new haircut." I'm like, "All right."
That's. I love that a meme will push a guy to make a different life choice.
Oh, dude, memes are powerful, man.
It's hilarious.
They're very powerful. As we all know.
David, we know you have a long day of calls, and you're going to be getting asked questions from some of the smartest minds in sports. And so we are going to ask you a few just really dumb questions, if that's okay by you.
Okay. I like those better. I prefer those.
David, you went from a career in the NFL, now you have this career in broadcasting. I want to ask you something. I'm 28 years old. I've been broadcasting for 2 years. Do you think that I could seamlessly transition from broadcasting into the NFL? Mind you, I do have 2 years of high school football under my belt, so...
What position are you trying to play? That's the question.
I mean, I could hold, I could be not hold while I play live. I could hold the ball. I could kick maybe.
That's how you can tell the guy's serious. He doesn't have a position choice yet.
Yeah, he doesn't even really know what he wants to do. Like, to make a lateral move like that, you got to have a plan set up. But I get it. Like, yeah. So you sound like my buddy Dave Damashek, who used to work in the network with us. He used to think that he was confident that he could go out and with one drive with a really good team score a touchdown. Yep. And everyone gave him so much crap about it. I'm like, Dave, you don't understand how hard that is, man. But hey, man, you put your heart and your soul into it, which you might need to pick a position first.
I love.
But let's do that, and then come back to me maybe next year, and we can discuss.
Well, that is the best kind of hypothetical, because it's not like it could ever happen. You can't go, "Hey, set it up.
That's
Put
right.
me in at quarterback.
Yeah, that's
make
right.
it happen."
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like you'll never know if I'm going to be able to do this. So I'm just going to say I can't. Smart by Dave.
All right, we've set the over/under on Super Bowl commercial Manning appearances at 4.5. You going over or under? Any Manning?
Oh my God.
Any Manning?
Yeah, well, I mean, there will definitely be some red hot. Peyton is just like, he can't help himself. So these guys with the ESPN Monday Night Football thing they have going on. I mean, I'm saying way over.
Okay.
This might break a record. What happens this weekend? I'm going to have to mute. And I love Eli. I love that guy, but I just can't handle that much of it.
If Eli was ever sick, would you fill in for him like you used to and do the Manning brothers, the Manning cast, as they call it?
I would. I would love that. I would think that would be I think that'd be a blast. The problem is going to be when other people try to duplicate it. That's going to be the problem, because those guys are great. Man.
It's coming.
They're so good. It's coming.
It's coming.
They've already. I'm like, don't even approach me because those guys are a different level. Eli's always been great. He's got this really dry humor, and he'll hit you, and then like a year later, you'll be like, oh, he was making fun of me.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
He's really quietly great at that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So they do a great job, man. I actually wouldn't mind if I saw a couple commercials with them. They'd be great.
David, I have another super dumb question. What was your first car?
My first car? Oh, man. I had an 86 Toyota pickup in high school. Blue, and the only AM radio worked, which was depressing.
And then
I know you guys are in radio and like you do, but it was like, come on. You know the music that was played in the AM. It's like all my buddies are listening to like Blink and like all these really cool bands, and I'm like, talk radio.
Yeah.
It's like, this is killing me.
News
so
and traffic
brutal.
on the 8s. That's what you get on the way to high school.
Yeah, so I just talked to myself a lot. It was really depressing.
Well, David Carr, thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure you check him out on NFL Total Access. We really appreciate talking to you. We hope you have a great week of the big game.
You got it, guys.
Thanks, man.